Hello, today we're going to be jumping into hacking and trying to simplify it as much as possible so that you can get to hacking and get into any system you want. Alright, of course hacking is not so simple, but let's jump into it. Alright, so the first thing we need to know is hacking is going to be under the intelligence perk, and to do it you need to have intelligence of 4. Once you have an intelligence of 4, you can take the hacker perk, which allows you to hack advanced terminals. Alright, and then of course each terminal gets stronger, you'll have to have higher levels in hacking. Right, but the hacking perk doesn't necessarily make you better at hacking, it just means you can access better terminals. So each terminal, the hacking gets more difficult. Right, so the way they increase difficulty, we'll go over that in a minute once I show you how hacking actually works. So like for this instance, we can use this terminal, which requires us to unlock a novice unlock. Right, so we can access it. Or, and we can use it to unlock this safe, which would require us to be an expert lockpicker to open otherwise.
No way I could pick this.
Alright, you can go ahead and press a button to get this to go faster, so you don't have to wait for it to load up. Alright, as you can see, we can move our cursor across the different things. And we have words, so split, storm, radio, cross, as we go down through the list. Then we have 2 columns, right? We have the left column, and then we can come over to the right column. Okay, each of these columns has a whole bunch of stuff. The password is going to be a word. Alright, it's not going to be just some random asterisk. And if you notice at the top we have attempts remaining and it shows 4. Alright, so if we pick something, so we pick cross. Alright, we lost one of our chances. And as you see it says likeness 0. So what this means is no letters in this word line up in the correct locations. Likeness doesn't mean how many letters are in this word are in the final word. That would probably make it a little too easy. So what they did is they made a logic puzzle for hacking. Alright. So yeah, so we gotta do a logic puzzle. Alright, so technically the word could have an S, R, O, or C in it, even though it says likeness 0, because those letters could be in a different location in the other word. Now for this next part of the device, this is only going to be really good on the advanced hacking. Once you get into the higher levels of hacking terminals, there's less of a chance of getting your attempts remaining reset. And we'll show you how to get your attempts remaining reset in just a second. So for the easier terminals, you may want to go ahead and burn through 2 of the options. Alright, so cross didn't work, so let's take Looney. Alright, Looney, likeness is 0. That was probably a really bad one to choose as well. That's not going to help with teaching you how to hack. Okay, so now that we're down to 2 choices left, 2 attempts remaining left, let's show you how to narrow down your options and also potentially get attempts remaining. So as you see, as we scrub through here, we can just come across, you can do it however you want. You can go all across one line, then down, and then go across the next line fully, and then down. I like to stick to one side of the screen, so let's start at the top left. I'll just come over in this column, and then go down, and then come across, go down. Alright, and then come across like this. Now, as you notice, we can light this up. This lights up like a password, right? And it lights the whole line. And if you notice, this has a closed bracket to one side and the opposite closed bracket on the other side. And what this does is it puts everything in between it. So when I click on this, if we clicked on this, it's not going to use our attempts remaining, but this will remove a dud or potentially give us all our attempts remaining back. If you notice, if I went this way, I wouldn't know, right? For some reason, clicking on this bracket doesn't work. So you gotta make sure you cover the whole line, so that once you touch one of the brackets, it'll light up the whole thing. Alright, so we'll go ahead and activate this to show you what it does. So we get a dud removed. And if you notice, that's here. That was whatever word was here, which I think is loony, which is really terrible dud for it to remove since we already know that's not the correct word. But yeah, so it'll leave dots where it removes the dud or the fake password. Okay, and then you can just travel through this and search for more. So as you see, this line here has the greater than and less than signs as its brackets. And dud removed. So you can see the less than and greater than signs can also be brackets. When we clicked on that, we got a dud removed. Now every now and again, instead of removing a dud, it'll give you all of your attempts remaining back. Now I have never gotten more than 1 attempts remaining back. What I mean by that is it'll refill your attempts remaining, but I've never been able to get more than 1 refill per hack. And in the later hackings, with the higher level hackings, I won't get any refills at all. Alright, so there we got our tries to reset. And here we go, is another bracket. As you can see, it's just 2 brackets side by side. And that removes another dud. The more duds we remove, the easier it is to hack. Okay, so I've gone through and removed all the duds, and now we still have quite a few words left, right? We have hues, joins, and several other words left in this here. So what happens if we can't find the right word and we fail? Basically, you can back out, you wait a moment, and then try again. Sometimes the terminals will lock down for a certain period of time. You just have to wait out that time. But in my experience, it's only a few minutes of waiting, and then you can get right back in. It may be a full 24 hours on some of these. Alright, but what we really need to show you is how to hack, because, okay, so as you notice, we only have a few words left. We were able to remove a bunch of duds. Well, in the higher level hacking terminals, what will happen is the list will start with more words, that could be it, and it will have less duds that you can be removed, and sometimes you can't even get an attempts remaining reset. So being able to solve the logic puzzle is how we're going to complete the hacking. So we already know we tried cross and we tried loony. So let's try radio. Now, we can take what we learned from cross and loony. None of these letters in this order work. So if the word starts with a C, not going to work. If the second letter in the word is an R, not going to work. If the first letter, or the third letter, if the third letter is an O, not going to work. If the fourth letter is an S, fifth letter is an S, not going to work, right? Same thing with loony. Well, radio doesn't have any of those letters in that order. So we'll choose radio and see what happens.
Got it.
And it was radio. So, okay, let's get back. We'll have to go back in and try this again. Alright, but as you can see, now we can unlock that safe. And we can now access it. But we had another way of getting the safe, right? We didn't have to use the terminal. You won't. Now, there will be some things in the games where if you can't use the terminal, you won't be able to get access to it. But a lot of things have another way of getting access to it. It may just take longer to get to the level you need to get access. Alright, so I went ahead and reloaded back, and we're going to try this again so I can kind of help guide you on how this is really going to work. Alright, so we'll try glove. Of course, lightness is 0. Come on, give me one that has a lightness. Parts. Alright, great. A lightness of 2. I rarely get more than a lightness of 2, but you could. So what this means is 2 of the letters in this are correct, and they're in the correct position. So it could be P and A, right? So, of course, it's probably not going to be based on the other words. But like plate, for instance, has 2 letters in the same place as parts. So plate might be a safe pick. So the first letter is a P and the third letter is a T. So those are 2 things that are in the right spot. But what if it's not the P and the T? That's right. Okay, so that's where you start removing duds to kind of narrow it down more. Now that we have parts as our go-to, we know that it has to be some kind of formation of this word. Alright, what else might fit is fist. Right, fist might actually fit the likeness of 2 as well. Depending on which 2 of the words fit. Like I said, this becomes a logic game, and it's probably easier to sit down with a pen and paper and write down parts, and then write all the other words under it and try and decide which one it's going to be. If you don't have duds you can remove or get resets later on in the harder ones, you're going to have to really try and narrow it down that way. This one doesn't have 2 words similar to parts, so we know it's not column, so we've just narrowed that down. Alright, so now we know it's either plate or fist so far. What else do we have? We have looks, right? What about looks? Does it work? No, there are no 2 letters in looks. Okay, let's go over doing. And again, no. Color? And no. Alright, elite? No. Glove? It's not going to be glove. Looms? It's not going to be looms. Alright, so we've narrowed it down. I mean, we have 2 choices left. Yeah, it looks like we've gone through all of the words so far, and I mean, I could have made a mistake. This is kind of hard to read and see with all this jumbled up stuff. That's why it's easy to write down on a piece of pen and paper and kind of go through each word, one word at a time. But if we've looked at this correctly, we should have narrowed it down now to plate and fist. And we have 2 choices left. So we're probably okay there. But if you really wanted to play it safe, we could start removing duds and try and get our attempts remaining replaced. Alright, now that we've gone through and removed all the duds and got attempts remaining, of course this is an easier terminal. So I was able to remove almost every word. And now we're left with comms and fist. And what we know it's not comms based on the likeness test we did earlier. So it's going to be fist. So hopefully the first word you click on is going to have at least a likeness of 2 or better to kind of help you narrow down and eliminate some stuff. So now we can hit this and show you that I'm right and finish it, or I could back out and show you a trick. You know, we'll do both. I'll go ahead and show you this right, and then we'll load and I'll show you another trick.
I'm in.
Okay, so there you go. It's right. We narrowed that down by the likeness, right? So, okay. Now let's say we're hacking and we really mess up. Alright, we come in here and we just start clicking away. We're like farms. Likeness 0, so panel. Likeness 0, geeks. Oh, likeness 1. Well, that's not going to help us. Oh no, what do we do now? We're down to 1 choice. We have no duds left. We have no attempts remaining that we can collect. Back out right now. Right? Step. And then go back in. And our attempts remaining have reset. Of course, the whole puzzle has reset. It's not going to be the same puzzle, so you can't just come in and keep choosing words and backing out till you get one right. It resets every time. But now we're not locked out. So what happens if we do get locked out, though? We did say earlier, if enough time passes, you'll be okay. You'll be able to get back in. So if you don't want to risk it, you know, when you're down to 1 choice left, just back out and reset the puzzle. Well, let's go ahead and show you on this one. And we can keep choosing the same one, and then we get locked out. Okay, initiate a lockout. Now we can't get back in. Alright, but now I'm backed out. I can come back in. This terminal has locked you out. It won't let us use this terminal. So now we just need to wait for a small amount of time passed, and now we can get back into the terminal. That's my experience, but I've also heard it the other way, where you can't get back into the terminal. I don't know if they just didn't wait enough time. It may be more time based on the more advanced the terminal is. And now, so as you see, the first 3 choices we made are all likeness of 0. That could also help you do process of elimination, right? Write down these 3 words, rocks, tired, and cages, and see, and then compare them to the other words on that are left, and figure out which ones don't have, which ones have the same likeness as them. So let's say rooms. Rooms would be rock, right? R-O. So we definitely know that's not right. Repel. R isn't, so we know it doesn't start with an R. We know it doesn't start with a T, and we know it doesn't start with a C, so we can eliminate everything that starts with those words. Alright, so repel isn't going to work because it starts with an R. Okay, but what about joins? It doesn't start with any of those. Well, its second letter is an O, so it can't be joins, right? So it wouldn't be joins. So as you can see, you can process elimination that way as well. And then we can probably really get to narrowing it down by going through this. So would it be notes? No, it can't be notes because the O is second place. Alright, well, what about waste? Can't be waste because an A is second place. What about jolly? Again, O is second place. Can't be that. Saved. Nope, O is second place. Stool. Alright, well, let's look. It doesn't have anything in common with rocks, or tired, or cages. So it could be stool. But is there anything else on here similar? Well, we narrowed down rocks, rooms, and repeller out. So joins is out, tires out. I'm not seeing any more words, so it's got to be stool, right?
I'm through.
And there we go. Process of elimination. That's how you hack. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Have an awesome day.